Hi everyone. Hi everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to everyone. So before we start, I want to ask our speakers to request to speak. I see Goanna here, Lamborghini here. Feel free to ask to speak. And yeah, very excited to kick off this AMA. We'll have, so in the next minutes, we'll have a lot of time for a really nice chat with Shuffle Labs and the Gora team. I'm very excited for the launch of this project and very happy to see so many familiar NFTs and PFPs over here. So before we kick off, I just want to let you know that you have we will have time for the Q&A at the end of this session. So feel free to drop us any question regarding the GoraBots launch in the chat, and I'll make sure everyone replies before we end up this session. And yeah, I see some of you already have microphone on. So yeah, why don't we start with a few intros for the ones who don't know who you are, guys, which I'm quite sure almost everyone does, but for the ones who are hearing us and don't know about this project and about Gora, about Shuffle Labs, I wanted to start this conversation by asking you guys to introduce yourselves, and then we can start about a bit about more about the project. I see Lamborghini, you already have access to the mic. Do you want to start?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Cool.
Really excited to get up and answer some questions that people have. We've been working really hard, and we're really looking forward to the whitelist drop tomorrow, and then the public on Friday. So just really glad to be here.
Cool. And you are the champion of this project, correct?
Yeah, that's the yeah. So I was brought on to the kind of Gora team to help make sure that the NFT launch is as smooth and is a smooth launch, and to spread the word and just to kind of let people know what they're getting into, and help with some of the technical details of it. I minted all of the NFTs this weekend and helped helped with some of the technical stuff as well. So I've been around the NFT space since its inception, since it was on Reddit in 2021 in like April, and yeah, I've been here every day ever since in the space, and seen lots of different projects come and go. And I think this one's a keeper, and I'm really, I can't be more excited for the drop that's going to take place the next couple days.
That's awesome. Yeah, and it's very nice to see, like when you see someone that is so well engaged with our NFT ecosystem being the champion of such a project. I was very excited when I heard that you were joining this project as the champion. So very happy to have you here. I see Abdul and Goana here as listeners. Guys, please ask a request to speak. Our host, the Algorand Foundation channel, will accept you. And yeah,
Yeah.
so
Can you guys hear me?
yep,
Hello? Yeah. Okay, thanks. So I'll go ahead and intro myself.
sure.
Yeah, we started Gora quite a few years ago, I think back in 2021. Actually started off as a Algorand hackathon project. And then, the Oracle excitement quite grew. We started off kind of building the Oracle for our own needs, sports app. And ever since then, we've been growing. We built out the Oracle. We launched on mainnet last year. And now we are, we've been not just now on Algorand, but we've now expanded to other chains. We're super excited about this collection for many reasons, I think, which we'll get into. But we're essentially an Oracle, and our core mission is bringing on-chain data from real-world sources.
I love that. I love that. So I'm trying to invite the Goana team to speak.
Oh, hey, how you doing, Joanna? Can you hear me?
Yep,
Fantastic. Sorry, I was having a bit of trouble with spaces. I had to jump out and come back in, but it seems it's all good now. How's everyone doing?
great, great.
Great.
Excellent. I'm
Great.
excited to be here. Thank you for having us.
Okay, so I was asking for everyone just to introduce each other just a bit. So for the ones who don't know who you are, guys, what this project is about, just for, just like for a very brief intro. So then we can start with the real AMA.
Fantastic. All right, cool. So I'm Benji from Goanna and Shuffle Labs. We built and run the Goanna NFT project, which was where we started, and then that's evolved, and now we have Goanna. We've got the Tree Fund. We also launched Shuffle app, the NFT marketplace. All of the different projects sit together under the Shuffle Labs umbrella, which is our parent company, and through that we provide services to different people, and we got to work with the Gora team and collab with them to create the GoraBots NFT collection, which is obviously what we're all here to talk about today. So our role in that was, obviously we've worked with them on the strategy and the high level thinking, but our main role was kind of creating the art, and then we'll be launching the NFTs through Shuffle app on the marketplace as well. So there'll be a launch pad going live specifically for that, and then you'll be able to trade the NFTs on the marketplace afterwards as well.
Thanks, Benji. That's actually like a really nice way to start. And my first question was exactly to you. And I wanted to ask if you can give us some feelings about like, what really inspired the creation of the GoraBots NFT collection. What's the concept behind this project? If you can share a bit more about this.
Yeah, so when we obviously talked about a lot about different ideas, and we kind of came up with this concept that you've got these different kind of roles or parts that people play within the Gora ecosystem. They all do their bit to contribute to the working of the Oracle and securing the network. So we kind of wanted to create the NFT collection to reflect that. So within the collection, there's different different types of bots, and this is reflected in the art. So the idea there was, you can look at the collection and you can understand, the different types of both rarity and the role that these bots play. So you've got the rarest ones, which have got really beautiful, high detailed art, exciting backgrounds, which represents the Gora crew, which are kind of like the core team, core contributors to the project. Then you've got the delegators, the node runners, the validators, and then you've got the Gora gang. And the Gora gang makes up the bulk of the collection. So there's the most of those NFTs. So they're the most common, and that represents the community and that contribution. So it's kind of trying to tie the visuals and the kind of story concept back to actually how Gora works practically. So that's kind of how the visual side of it. And then the part I think is really exciting, and what makes this kind of collection unique and helps really push the conversation forward for NFTs is how they're actually the utility that's going to have and come with them. So all of the NFTs are going to be backed by a specific amount of Gora. I don't know, I'll let Fred or Abdul probably talk to how this is going to work technically, but what that means is that these NFTs are actually going to be, you're going to be able to use them like Gora tokens, in that they're going to have immediate utility. You're going to be able to stake them, and actually by staking them, it's not that, an NFT project that's just kind of created a token and you stake the NFT and you get more tokens. These NFTs will actually be staking, securing the network, and as part of that, they'll be generating, I guess what you describe as real yield. So they're actually doing work, generating yield, and then that goes back to the owner as well, which is super exciting. So I think it's a great way to bring NFTs and all the fun that comes with the collectability and the art and the community, and pair that with sort of real world DeFi platform type use case, and then hopefully that results in it gives it a broader appeal. It's a way to sort of onboard your more typical DeFi user into the NFT space, and perhaps it's a way to onboard the NFT users into doing something more technical on chain as well, but making it very accessible as well. So it's super exciting and something that I think is quite new, certainly within the Algorand ecosystem. So stoked to be a part of it.
Great. I was personally very excited when I first heard about this project. I think, NFT Fi is something that we still kind of miss on our ecosystem, even though there were some, and there are still some projects here and there. But I was very excited to hear about, this partnership between two big projects on our ecosystem. So, yeah, my next question is actually for Gora. And it's exactly about this utility aspect, like how this NFT Fi concept really operates behind this NFT collection.
Yeah, I can jump in and answer that. So, first of all, Gora's, our aim from day one was to be as fully decentralized as possible. And one of the things about being fully decentralized is that the community and the other stakeholders are the main people who are going to be driving the project. And so, from a technical perspective, we're fairly decentralized. Anybody can run a node, compared to many other sort of projects out there where only a select group can run a node. With Gora, anybody can run a node. As long as you have at least one Gora token, you can contribute to consensus. So from the technical side, I think we really have focused and kind of executed on the decentralization. And then sort of the next part is governance. And so this year we've been really focused on decentralizing governance. And so the first step to decentralize governance is the Gora DAO, which we've teased photos of, which is coming up soon. And then the second thing is having sort of this Gora DAO council. So each NFT here is actually going to represent sort of like one vote in the Gora DAO council. And the Gora DAO council is essentially sort of the group that decides, hey, what goes to a vote or what doesn't go to a vote. And so that's sort of one of the main purposes behind it. So in addition, and by the way, all the funds raised from this NFT collection will go into the GoraDAO treasury, so that all the Gora community can actually decide what to do with those funds. We're not actually going to be keeping it; it's going to be in the treasury. So then, to make it even more exciting and the system more secure, each NFT is actually backed by a number of Gora, anywhere from 1,000 Gora to 2,000 Gora. And what happens is these Gora can actually be staked to a node operator, and you can earn rewards from that stake. So this is, it helps because with 870 NFTs, this is a large amount of Gora being permanently locked to consensus. So it sort of gives us a really good layer of security. And so, having this security aspect of it, but also being a core component of the GoraDAO and the GoraDAO Council, this is sort of our next step in decentralization. Yeah.
Love it. So just to double check, so the holders of these NFTs have kind of two kinds of utility, right? From one side is the yield, so like the staking of the NFT, and on the other side is governance power, correct?
Yeah, exactly. So the way the Gora DAO works is anybody with at least one Gora token can essentially vote. However, there's when we did for example, testing in our test net, we realized if anybody can create a proposal, we started to get a lot of spam proposals and proposals that don't make sense. So the Gora DAO Council is sort of like, they look at, okay, there's these proposals that were created. Does this make sense to actually go to the floor for a full vote? So they're almost, sort of the first layer between a proposal being created and it going to the floor for a vote. They get to decide it. They also get to initiate proposals as well.
I love that. And just out of curiosity, which I think maybe some people also share with me, I would love to hear more on like how was the process of designing these, not only this NFT collection, because it's more than actually an NFT collection, right? Like all this utility and all this partnership. How was it for you? So like, what were kind of like the first steps of this collaboration between Gora and Shuffle, and what were kind of the key synergies for both of you? Benji, do you want to start?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think it initially started. I can't remember who. Someone in the ecosystem introduced Abdul and myself, and we jumped on a call just to get to know each other, find out a bit more about each other's projects, and just have a chat. There was no kind of agenda or specific plan to do this, and like through that conversation, it was like we just started brainstorming ideas and kind of talked about different things that we could do together. And it just seemed like there was this kind of natural synergy there. There was a really cool way that these NFTs could have genuine sort of real utility within the Gora platform, and it kind of just evolved from there naturally. And I think it's really exciting. I've talked a little bit in different places about how I think existing platforms are quite uniquely positioned in that they can really offer sort of, I guess, what you call like genuine or real utility to NFTs, whereas an NFT sort of first project, they create the NFTs and then they're trying to come up with utility second. So I think there's something quite unique about approaching it from this other direction, which was really cool and quite exciting.
Yeah, and from our side, like this is a very long process. I think it's been almost 18 months since the first conversation that we had actually with Benji, and it took us a very long time. And I think the main reason is with governance, it's very hard to do. Like I think there's very few projects in the entire space that have actually gotten governance right. And because it wasn't really just a traditional NFT project for us, we're not launching this to sort of make money or anything. Like all the funds go to the GoraDAO treasury anyways. It was more about how do we make sure like Gora DAO is not gamed, what could happen because it's so decentralized. There are, the DAO voting can become a tool for an attacker to sort of make proposals that allow them to do malicious things. And so this was more than just the design of sort of the NFTs. It was also the design of an entire governance system. And so it was definitely not easy, but it was a lot of fun just going through the creative process. I haven't really been too much into the NFTs. I think on our side, Fred, our CMO, um, has really been kind of the artist on the team, and just seeing the whole process, the different designs, the first iterations. Obviously, we're big fans of the Goana project, so we were super excited to work for them. So seeing how that professional NFT creating team and a team that has done this before on Algorand go through creative process, I think was a lot of fun for us.
I love that. That's very inspiring and very nice to hear that, like so many so different projects and like kind of from different verticals really sync well together and can build something that brings a lot of value for our entire ecosystem. And that's exactly the point I wanted to take from here. It's more about like, the long-term vision for both of you guys. I believe that this is of course like the very first step of a fruitful and long-term collaboration. Um, but I really wanted to hear, of course, whatever you can share about, like the long-term vision for both of you for the NFT Fi ecosystem on Algorand. Like, what are your long-term goals with this project? Ben, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
I mean, I
go
can.
ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, sure. Go ahead. Sure. I'll start. So, I mean, for long term, I think we want to, show first of all, I think Algorand is always going to be, open for anybody to come. So, I think one of the things we saw on our side was we really promoted the Gora and the Oracle project throughout the ecosystem. We didn't focus on just sort of promoting our project to Algorand developers, but in general. And we saw quite a large number, I think more than 50, 60% of our community, especially in the initial days, were coming from outside the space. And even though it's a different wallet, it's a different, you have to opt in. It was a completely different experience. But we saw very quickly that crypto native users can get used to and can learn how to use it instantly. Um, and the feedback was unanimous, right? Like the chain is amazing, it's super fast. And so we were sort of in a way doubling down. Like we have a token, for example, on Ethereum, but we decided to do the entire collection and everything, governance and DAO on Algorand because we're pretty confident that people are going to come to this chain if there's a reason to, and devs will come here if there's a reason to. And I think we saw that with the launch of Gora. And so having our entire governance system on Algorand, even though we've been expanding to Ethereum and Base, I think for us it's sort of a vote of confidence that if we don't have to worry about, hey, let's be on Base to attract this or for that. We can launch our governance on Algorand, and we know that people will come here to use it if there's the reason for it. And so we hope in the long term, as Gora grows, we can also help Algorand grow. I think Algorand support has been absolutely immense for us, right? Like from the hackathon, from the Price Oracle grant, um, all those early days. I don't think without the support of Algorand. So this is sort of hopefully in a way we can help do our part to help grow the ecosystem. And I think if we do this DAO right and we get the governance right and we have all this people having such a stake in the growth of Gora because now it's a community project owned and managed by the community. It's going to give Gora, hopefully a way path to success on Algorand.
I love that. And Benji, how about Shuffle Labs? I would love to hear more about like, your long-term vision and also how these this collection ties to what's coming next?
Yeah, I mean, I think this collection is super exciting. We're really, like Abdul said, it's been a long time in the making, and we're really excited to see it going live. I think it's going to be a brilliant way to hopefully move NFTs on our ground forward. This combination of sort of a genuine use case outside the traditional NFT space and onboarding people in, I think it's going to be brilliant. So I think it's a great move forward. And like Abdul was saying, it's hopefully it's a great gateway to bring new people into the ecosystem, both maybe sort of DeFi users who are already active on Algorand, and then people who are maybe Gora fans but aren't Algorand fans, bring them in, and they want to get more involved in the Gora project. They want to take part in governance, and they're going to have to come and grab an NFT to do that. So that's really exciting, because it's, hopefully that can contribute to ecosystem growth and onboarding, which is just brilliant, right? That's what everyone wants to see. And then for us, kind of longer term, we've kind of been quietly building out a number of new projects and collections, which we're going to be rolling out over the next few months. Hopefully, seems like there's a sort of a bit of a shift generally that I've noticed, particularly in the last week or two, on Twitter, and the conversation has started to shift that NFTs are making a comeback and NFT season's coming. I think there was a big movement with CryptoPunk, saw quite large volumes over the last week. So it'd be brilliant to see that. I think there'll be a lot of NFT creators would be really excited to see that momentum kind of come back into the market. And then we've got a number of other things that we're working on. There's a new kind of a bigger play that we're working on with the marketplace, where there'll be a sort of cross-chain component, which we're looking to roll out shortly through a partnership we've done with a new blockchain that's coming out here in Australia called Layer 1X. So that's something that we've been kind of focused on recently, and that's due to go live in the next week or so. And then in terms of NFT Fi, which I know is a big part of what we're talking about today, obviously, like, we've got the Goanna Bank, which is something I'm really excited about. It's a platform which we've seen a lot of volume and use go. A lot of volume's gone through that over the last year or so, and that's allowing NFT holders to kind of put their NFTs up as collateral, take loans against those, and then they pay interest on those loans, so the bank can make money and is profitable, and we can afford to run that. But it also brings liquidity to those NFTs. So you might sit on this valuable NFT, you can unlock that liquidity, and then the loan terms are like 90 days. So if you time it right, you can then go and put that into like governance or DeFi. So I think that's a really exciting use case, and we've recently expanded that. So initially it was rolled out that you could only use that if you held Goanna NFTs, and then we've over the last couple of months expanded that to add support for other kind of established collections, which have been around a long time. Community's got a lot of trust in them. They've got fairly stable floor prices, so we were able to bring those in and add them to the Goanna Bank as well. So it'd be really cool if we can continue to expand that. That's kind of it's actually a community-led thing. So all the funding for the liquidity essentially that is used to provide those loans comes from the community treasury that the Goanna DAO manages. So they run that. And I work closely with them to kind of support the platform and the infrastructure side. So it'd be great to see that expanded and continue to grow as well over the next little while.
Wow, that's amazing. Thanks, Benji. And yeah, very promising times indeed. I think that, and I of course I share your thoughts on like the sentiment is shifting, and there's a lot of excitement in the last days, and I really hope we can keep the momentum going. And also I think that this launch comes in a really good time. I think the momentum is perfect for this launch. And Yeah, that's exactly like my next topic. But before we go for the sale and the launch details, just wanted to let everyone know that we have a chat over here, and feel free to ask any questions about this launch. We will have some time for the Q&A at the end of this session. And my next question is actually for Flamborghini. If you can share with us a bit more behind, this the whitelist and the public sales structure, more about like the concept, what's the inspiration behind this structure, and also, of course, some insights about the pricing strategy, allocation of NFTs. Yeah, so those details about this launch.
Yeah, sure thing. Where to start? That's a lot. I think the first thing that really stood out to me is that it's a relatively small collection. I mean, anything under 1,000, I think is pretty small. I think that's smart, especially in the kind of current ecosystem. Launching something that's too big can kind of get out of hand really quickly. But I think, especially because they want it to be the council of people who are really invested in the future of the chain and the future of Gora, and being able to lead such a huge role in the ecosystem. Having 870 NFTs, I would say is smaller than your average NFT collection. So that's kind of the starting point there. We had a whitelist campaign, and there's kind of like, there's lots of different ways to do it. We didn't want it to be where if you got unlucky, you would have no way to get, we didn't want to have so many whitelist spots that if you didn't get a whitelist spot, you basically were unable to grab one. But we wanted to reward the people who have been around in the Gora community, and also some of the related NFT communities, to get the whitelist is basically, you have a stress-free 24 hours, but get it in there in 23. don't wait till the last second. But you get a stress-free day to just kind of grab one when you're able. You don't have to sit down and make sure you're there exactly at the drop if you do have a whitelist spot. But we were able to give away some whitelist spots to a number of NFT projects who are in some way either related to the drop or are related to Gora, and that their community runs a node. And so we were able to get Bambino, Akita, Little Royals, Gecko, Goanna, and Shep, and some people from the Gora Discord were able to get some. And then there was a whole slew of whitelists of people who had received the second year anniversary NFT. So if they were holding that still, they were basically guaranteed to be able to get one of these new NFT collections as well. There were 50 of those. But our whitelist allocation is just over 100. So it's really not even an eighth of the whole collection is going to be minting tomorrow in the whitelist. I think I know the majority of sales will come from the public drop on Friday. What's really cool, so the price, we kind of weren't sure if we wanted to announce a price in, the Gora had in mind a price that they would like to launch at, and really they wanted the price to be high enough so that the Gora DAO would really have some ammo to be able to do something. And so they wanted it to be $75 per NFT, and we went with the decision to announce the price in USD, because we weren't 100% sure what would happen to the price of algo, whether it would go way up or way down. And so the price is going to be $75 in algo. I think we've locked in a price. I need to double check that. Oh, I had it pulled up on my computer and now I've lost it. But it's we've locked it in right now. So if the price of algo goes way up or way down in the next 24 hours, that's not going to change. But it's whatever $75 is in algo right now for the public. It's going to be $57 for the whitelist. So it's a 25% discount for those who were for those members of the core communities that are connected to Gora. What's really cool is that the minimum amount of Gora tokens that each NFT is backed by is 1,000, and that's I don't have the price pulled up right now, but it worked out so that it's roughly the same as what you're paying. I don't think it's that much more, that much less. If you get the most common, the Gora gang, sorry, the Gora crew is the rarest one. So it's up 2,000. So it's double that, but you're getting the value back of being able to be a part of the DAO, but also those tokens that are locked in the contract, being able to stake it. It would be like if you were planning to buy some Gora tokens anyway, you can get this PFP and get to be a part of the DAO council, but then you have all that utility that comes from the tokens anyway. And so if you get lucky, you get one of the they range, so there's 5 different groups, less less supply for each of the groups, but you'll get the highest level, it's 2,000, and then the second highest level, it's 1,750, and then 1,500, 1,250, and then 1,000. So a lot of people are going to get that 1,000, but we liked that it didn't taper off too hard, where even the most basic ones are still being backed by quite a bit of Gora tokens. And so that's kind of the reasoning behind the pricing and the limited supply. And I think I answered pretty much what you had.
Yeah. That's absolutely like complete information and super useful information. I love this, win-win-win-win effect, like everyone wins by getting these NFTs, and it's a really nice way and thoughtful way to keep people engaged in the long term and in this, decentralized governance vision that you guys have with this project. I think it's really nice. And my last question actually is for you, Lamborghini, about the dates. What are the most important dates and the dates that everyone should have in mind for this project and for these next steps?
Yeah, great question. So here are the 3. The upcoming dates that are really important are tomorrow. If you have a whitelist, you are not required to mint at any specific time. Like, there's way more NFTs than whitelist spots, so there is no rush. Just get it in when you can. Sometime tomorrow after 20 UTC. I know we're all in different time zones. I think it's cool. We've got so many different parts of the world here just in this one call, but it's going to be 20 UTC, or about an hour, about 23 hours from now. So about 23 hours from now, tomorrow, if you have the whitelist, we published the list of, if you're like, I think I remember winning one a couple weeks ago, and I sent Lamborghini my wallet, but I don't remember if it was recorded. Go back. You can double check. All of the wallets that are on the whitelist were published to the GoraBots section of the Discord, and I tagged everyone. So if you're like, I can't remember if I won one, or if you just want to go check, you're like, oh, I'm holding one of those birthday NFTs, from the 2-year anniversary. Does that qualify me? You can go and check and see, oh yeah, it does. I get a whitelist. So you want to make sure you mint tomorrow, because if you wait, all of the NFTs are going to be, the mint is going to be reopened as the public sale, and that's going to be on Friday at 20 UTC. So that'll be just real quick. I pulled up the price in algo, so it's locked in. Tomorrow it's going to be 433 algo, and on Friday it's going to be 570. So you can still buy one when the public drops, but you really want to get it in if you have a whitelist spot in that first 24 hours.
Awesome. Okay, so everyone, make sure you have your eyes on GoraBots tomorrow and Friday. very exciting way to end this week. And I don't see any question. Okay,
Oh,
let
one
me
more date.
see.
I forgot. A
Yeah,
week
go ahead.
a week from tomorrow. So this is cool. So you can start staking. Staking will be available on the website GoraFi 1 week from the drop. So you can get your NFT. You're gonna have to wait 1 week, which I think is a pretty short amount of time. I'm excited to be able to stake them. But staking will not be available the moment you get yours. You'll have to wait 1 week, or if you're buying in the public, 6 days. And the staking tool will be available on the website. And if in case it wasn't very clear, the NFTs are dropping on shuffle.app. And I think Benji could answer this, but there will be a banner on the front. I mean, I've been on the website. There's a banner on the front page. Will clicking on that banner lead to the whitelist and the public sale when it's live?
So if you go on Shuffle app now, you can actually, we've added the collection because they've, obviously we're on Algorand, so everything's created, minted in advance. So the NFTs are already existing and live on chain. So firstly, if anyone wants to jump in, explore the collection, check out the different traits, see how the rarities work, see how the different styles of bot there are for each different level, you can jump onto Shuffle, just click the GoraBots banner, and you can see the whole collection that's there. You can filter by all the different traits, etc. So that's live now. You can jump on, check that out whenever. We'll spin up a subdomain and we'll be sharing links for how to get to that as well. And we can add a link. If you just go to the regular Shuffle app site, you'll see it. But we'll spin up a dedicated subdomain, and that'll be where the launch will happen. And we'll be communicating that with everyone over the next sort of 24 hours or so, ready for when we go live tomorrow with the whitelist.
Great. Yeah, I know some people are a little bit wary of links, especially for a really anticipated drop, waiting for the link. Bad act. The Discord is very secure, but just in case someone DMs you and says, "Hey, here's the link," and it looks really suspicious, just use some common sense. And if you're ever just unsure, you can go to shuffle.app and you'll be able to get to the whitelist and the public sale straight from there. But we will share the dedicated links in the Discord. We'll tag people. But just if you're worried, you can just go straight to shuffle.app either tomorrow or Friday, 20 UTC. So it's 4:00 my time. I live on the East Coast of the United States, but I'm sure it's different times for everyone here. But in about 23 hours from now, and then about a day and 23 hours for the public.
Awesome. And I'm sure that if anyone has any questions, right, like if they receive any suspicious DM or anything, they can always reach out to you, Flamborghini, or to anyone at the Gora team or Goanna, just to double check. Guys, make sure you triple check everything before interact with anything you are not 100% sure about. So I have a question here in the chat. First one is from Solomon, asking how long is the whitelist mint going to last for people who missed out?
For people who missed out, I guess I'm not sure. The whitelist mint will be about 24 hours. So maybe 23 hours, because we'll have to have some time to make sure we're setting up the public list. So I don't know exactly what it means by people who missed out. If he wants to send me a DM, I could maybe get some clarity on that. But if you have a whitelist spot, you'll have to mint 24, like 1 day from now. It'll be open for about 23 hours.
Yeah, just to reiterate there, we'll close an hour before the public sale goes live. So the whitelist mint will stop. it gives the devs can do what they need to do to update the price, make it so anyone can mint, not just the whitelist wallets, and then it will reopen at 20 UTC on the Friday for the public mint. So yeah, I'm not sure if I think that the whitelist is now closed. So if you're not on the whitelist, and like Gary said earlier, you can jump on the Gora Discord, you can check the wallets there, but that whitelist is now closed. So if you're not on the list, you have missed out and you have to go in the public. But those whitelisted wallets will have essentially a day to mint. There's more, it's not oversubscribed. We haven't put like 5,000 people on the whitelist and there's only 870 NFTs. Everyone who's on the whitelist will have a chance to mint. It will be completely random, so it's not like all the rare ones are going in the whitelist and the public are going to miss out. It will be equally distributed, so everyone's going to have a fair crack at this. And yeah, you'll have plenty of time, so you can mint in your own time if you're on the whitelist. The public will be first come, first serve, and once that's gone, it's gone. So that's pretty much everything.
Awesome. And we have another question about the Gora rewards. So I also want to know how long it takes for owners of Gora to take their Gora rewards. So that's the other question from Solomon.
Yeah, sure. I can jump in to answer that one. There won't be any difference from sort of how staking works now. Currently, when you stake, your rewards are sort of real time. So you can come back every day and claim whatever rewards, however much has accrued. So it's going to be pretty much similar in that regard. So yeah.
Cool. Okay. Just checking the questions. Okay, what are the price points? I think this one was already addressed. Great news. Nice feedback,
Yeah,
Nishat.
and well, maybe while you look through those comments, I know we talked a little bit about the staking side of things and also how it's the Gora DAO Council, but also wanted to kind of mention how the Gora DAO Treasury works. I don't think our marketing team has done anything nearly as impactful as some of the marketing that came from our community members, right? Like we have core group of like super fans, I would call them, where they go out, they spread the word, and I think we've grown thanks to like the word of mouth and a lot of our own community discussing Gora. And so we get so much feedback about like, hey, why don't you try this and why don't you try that? And some of the really awesome things that we've tried that have helped us out have been suggestions from the community. And so we're really excited to actually put 100% of the profits into the Gora DAO treasury. And so this is like the same community that have been suggesting all these cool things for us to do to help us grow. Now they can actually have a budget to do so. So when they say, hey, we want to see marketing or you want to see you go on this exchange, now they don't have to just come to us. Whatever royalties are generated down the road as well, like these are backed by Gora, so hopefully there's like a floor price, but whatever royalties are generated will always go back into the treasury, whatever profits there are. And so we're really excited to see sort of how the community decides to sort of spend that Gora DAO treasury.
Love it. Okay, so we have one question. The question is also from Solomon, and it says, considering the FUD in the NFT space right now, do you think these sales will fly usually like they should? That's a tricky one. I think it's very hard to predict these things. But do you guys want to say anything about these questions?
I can talk about that. Yeah, I think
Sure.
I've been feeling the FUD a little bit, and I think the FUD is in a lot of cases totally legitimate on a lot of NFT projects that come out with really cool art, like, and promised a lot of things, and then left people high and dry, and people are feeling really frustrated. They can't sell the they view it as an investment, and then they can't sell it and get really burnt. And a lot of people saying, what happened? I thought I was supposed to get rich off this, or what, or like just people getting kind of tired of the same old thing. And I would say what GoraBots is attempting to do here is to try and change the narrative. I think Benji had a really good point towards the beginning of the spaces where, this is a utility first. Like, the utility is already baked in. Like, devs have been working with the NFTs. They were getting on me to mint them so that they could get their hands on them, so that they wouldn't have to just be doing test NFTs to try and make sure that the staking tool was working and the DAO tools were working. And so it's like, I mean, people might sleep on this, but people might just turn their nose up to something that, it's over 500 algo. That's a lot, especially for people who maybe they put a lot of money in it at $1, and now, so this feels like quite the price to ask. But I would just say, look at what you're getting. You're getting a pretty low supply NFT with some dope art, and it's backed by about the price that you paid for it. So I think, to anyone who's really skeptical, maybe you don't buy it right when it goes live, but keep an eye on it. If you're like really against this project and you're feeling like this is too much, buy it, keep an eye on it, see what people are saying. There's the reason we have awesome marketplaces like Shuffle, like Rand, like Algo X NFT, Examarket, Acylytic. To If you want to go on there, we're already verified on there. You can go to Acylytic. You'll be able to see if people want to sell theirs. Maybe you don't like not being able to choose what your GoraBot looks like, so you can go on the secondary market. You can take a look. Maybe you get a deal. That's maybe like a pro tip for people who have been in NFTs for a while. They might know this, but like, people will just throw their NFTs on the secondary market right after they mint them, because they maybe they weren't happy with the color of the background, right? They're like, only YBG for me, so they throw it on the secondary market. And you might be able to pick up a deal. I don't know. I don't think we've had quite a similar. It's hard to compare. Like, it could be there's some amazing deals on the secondary market in the first couple of days. Could be that everyone who's buying these has been a huge community member for Gora and really wants to buy it and hold it. And so maybe we don't see that many on secondary. It's hard to know. It's hard to know for sure, but I would just keep an eye on it. Like, don't write us off completely. Keep an eye on it. Come back around. See how the staking works. See that you can actually be earning tokens just by staking your NFT, just like you would if you owned 1,000 or 2,000 even Gora tokens. That's what I would say.
Great. And I think that's a really nice way to wrap up this conversation. We are almost 1 hour live. So I would just like end up with your words, Lamborghini, saying like, keep an eye on this project. Keep an eye tomorrow on Shuffle Labs and Shuffle app website, on GoraBots Discord. Feel free to reach out to, Goanna, Shuffle, Gora, Lamborghini. If you have any questions, make sure you triple check anything before you interact with any link. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to them. All information will be on their Discord and everyone will be tagged. So there are a lot of channels and tools for you to make sure you get involved in a really nice way. This is going to be a very, very nice project, and I'm very thankful for everyone here to listen to us, and also to Shuffle, to Gora, to Lamborghini for your commitment and for taking the NFT Fi space further on Algorand. So before we wrap up, I just want to ask, Shuffle, Benji, sorry, Abdul, if you want to jump with your final words, and yeah, after that we can wrap up. this session?
No, I think I just want to say thank you for having us. It's great chance to have this chat, jump on spaces, and share what's happening with the community. I don't know if it's of interest. Just on that last point, I just put in on Vestige. Like the mint price, the public mint price is like 570, and you get 950 Gora currently. So you actually get more Gora by minting the NFT than if you do go and buy it. So I think that's almost like they've got like anti-rug built in. So it's a really cracking deal for people who want to take part. But yeah, just thanks to everyone. Thanks to the Gora team. They've been brilliant to work with, and we're just really excited to see this go live in the next 24 hours or so.
Yeah, thanks to the whole community, both our grant, Gora, and beyond, and all the listeners here today. It's just such a wonderful ride, kind of building this oracle, our core mission, but then also branching out and doing these cool collaborations. Big thanks to the Goana team, the Shuffle Labs team, for all their help and patience as we designed this campaign. And looking forward to the actual launch of the Gora DAO itself in a couple of months.
Awesome. Okay, thanks everyone. The countdown has started less than 23 hours ago. Make sure you check all the channels and get involved with this project. Thank you.